I'm Glenn Shang, the pastor of Tabernacle United Methodist Church, also known as Irma Tabernacle. Irma Tabernacle is located at the corner of Seashore and Tabernacle Roads in Irma, New Jersey, a part of Lower Township, just on the northern edge of beautiful Cape May City, at the bottom of the state. More information about the church is available at the website irmatabernacle.org. That's Irma, E-R-M-A, irmatabernacle.org. The title of this message is, Are You Ready to Grow in Your Prayer Life? Are you ready to grow in your prayer life? Well, we had a large number of people in the last message that filled out our first commitment card in our new series called Committed to Christ, 6 Steps to a Generous Life. The last message was an introductory one, and you can find a copy of the commitment card where you are probably viewing this video right now. And the question on that card was, will you choose to be a committed follower and disciple of Jesus Christ? Will you choose to be a committed follower and disciple of Jesus Christ? Well, that's the introduction. In this message, you will be asked if you are ready to grow in your prayer life. Step 1, to a generous life. Please know that you are not alone in this. Now, if you're able to raise your hand, how many would confess that you struggle with a consistent, vibrant prayer life? Wherever you are right now, if you can, raise your hand if you struggle with a consistent, vibrant prayer life. Be encouraged that you're not the only one. If I were taller, I'd like to say that my hand is higher than yours. Yes, your pastor struggles with a consistent, vibrant prayer life. Let's see what God has to tell us today to take that next step. We learn from our passage in Luke chapter 6 that Jesus retreats to a place where he can be alone to make a big decision. In Jesus' day, and throughout the Old Testament, it is believed that the presence of God can be best discovered in the mountains. So while we may pray anywhere, Luke's readers see Jesus as going up the mountain, something similar to when Moses, another great figure of faith, goes up Mount Sinai to meet with God and receive guidance, sometimes on selecting leaders. And we learn from verses 13 through 16 in Luke 6 that Jesus, after praying all night, calls and chooses 12, naming them apostles, and also leaders. An apostle is a person sent on a mission and given full authority by the sender to accomplish that mission. And the 12 who are named in Luke chapter 6 are selected after Jesus spends much time in prayer. There's a popular question surrounding Jesus and prayer, asking why he always goes away so often to pray. Isn't Jesus God? The question goes. We trust in the two persons of the Trinity, Father and Son, as being with one essence. That speaks to the fully God part. Yet we also need to remember that Jesus is fully human. Yes, even as the divine Son of God the Father, Jesus still needs to pray in the Garden of Gethsemane prior to going to the cross. Prayer is important because it helps us grow in our relationship with God. A hallmark of a healthy relationship is made up of healthy communication. How often have you heard the phrase in church or in life, we just need to communicate better? Or there was a breakdown in communication, or something similar. But prayer is not only talking to God. Prayer also is about listening for God, speaking to us. As our communication level goes up with God, as our prayer relationship grows up to God, the more we will learn to listen to ways God speaks to us. It is with this improvement of listening that the blessings will flow in the form of having lives molded and shaped to be in beautiful harmony with the will of God. Here's one of the methods I've used to structure my prayer life. Perhaps you have heard it too. The ACTS process has been around for a while, probably because it is so effective. The acronym ACTS is easy both to remember and to put into practice. I'm getting some of this from Bill Hybels' classic book, Too Busy Not to Pray. A, adoration. Adoration sets the tone for prayer. It reminds us who we are praying to. We identify God for who he is, lifting up his attributes and celebrating his character. Adoration reinforces our understanding of who God is. It also cleanses us as we acknowledge that God is worthy of adoration. C, confession. Confession is often minimized when it comes to personal prayer. When do you confess your sin before God? When you do this, do you feel pain or embarrassment or shame? We don't like talking about sin to each other simply because we do not want to admit to causing pain or experiencing shame. But when we sin, that's exactly what happens in God's eyes. It is in the confession that brings freedom. If we do take confessing our sins more seriously, then our lives would be radically different. We need to move from, I'm tired of admitting that sin, to, I want to root it out of my life entirely. T, thanksgiving. Give thanks to God for 4 areas of blessing: spiritual, relational, and material blessings, as well as the blessing of answered prayers. God is our Father, and He desires us to express our thanksgiving as His child. Once you do this, then it moves seamlessly to the next step, S, supplication. Supplication is another word for making request to God, but ACTR doesn't roll off the tongue as smoothly. Know this: no request is too big or too small for God. He wants to hear it all. Even these can be broken down into categories, such as work, people, family, and personal needs. But you can choose any categories that work for you. That is the Acts way of praying. The second half of our passage in Luke chapter 6 is the result of the first half. We learn that after Jesus and his newly commissioned apostles come down from the mountain, from the presence of God, we see the answer to Jesus' prayer. Luke 6, verses 18 and 19. They have come to hear him and to be healed of their diseases, and those who are troubled with unclean spirits are cured. And all in the crowd are trying to touch him, for power comes out from him and heals all of them. Luke 6, verses 18 and 19. A lot has been said and written about this passage over the millennia, and yes, there are some interpretations that may be a bit off, perhaps including my own. One of the original definitions of to be healed is deliverance. Deliverance. It's more than the mending of a broken bone or a curing of cancer. It is the mending of broken relationships and the deliverance from cancers of the spirit. Exactly what is disease? It literally means a bondage, something that is holding on tight, a situation which we get caught up in. A disease in Luke's world and in our world controls us. The healing from this so-called disease is to be delivered from the power that is holding on to us and will not let go, or that we refuse to let go. And now to make this step 1 of prayer real. Over the past couple of weeks, I have experienced a personal crisis of sorts. Without going into any deep, dark details, I must say that my heart was wrenched. I was cut to the core, stripped to the soul. Now you're probably interested in the deep, dark details. Well, I can joke about it now, but it was certainly not a laughing matter then. What happened to me, and is in many ways still happening, is a shedding of certain stuff in my life, stuff that needed to be removed, including how I am approaching my relationship with my Lord. That needed to change. It still does. It started with tears of anger toward others and myself, progressed with tears of sorrow and sadness to God, and is now moving towards tears of joy in praise. Yes, without going into the deep, dark details, I feel, I believe, I know that my life has been changed through the power of prayer. Now it's your turn, our turn. There is a commitment card that is attached to this post. And I encourage you to hold it up, to look at it, and with a pencil or pen, check the appropriate box or boxes as you answer the question, are you ready to grow in your prayer life? I've said all that I'm going to say right now. My invitation to you is to spiritually come forward, to check the box, and to make that commitment to pray, to have a better life and a better relationship with God. Amen. I'm Glenn Sheng, the pastor of Tabernacle United Methodist Church, also known as Irma Tabernacle. More information is available at the website, irmatabernacle.org. May God richly bless you this day and every day, till the day of his return. Goodbye, and God bless you.